Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the four remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take Two Radio, and thanks for listening.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio and Take Two Radio Soaps and Review. I never know what to call the show anymore, but we do it all, so all under the guise of Take Two Radio, so there we go. And I'm Pam, your host, and joining me today as co-hosts are David and Anthony and Carolyn and Candice, and I don't know, is that all we have today, right? Yeah?
That's the crew. That's the crew. Good evening, everyone.
We can do the musketeer roll call. Candice, smile.
Yeah, roll
call. Smile.
We could do roll call and say Anthony, Cleopatra. We still don't have a name for David yet. Dr.
Carolyn
what's his name? Yeah, Carolyn's the Queen of Days. And David could be like Dr. Hook or something. Isn't that what his name is? Captain Hook? Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
David can be Detective Taggart.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. Whatever name we go by, we're here, right?
Absolutely.
I've been told that.
Oh my gosh. And we're truly excited for tonight's show. Yeah, we're so pleased to have with us a beautiful and talented award-winning actress and producer, and her name is Laura Wright. Yay! We're just waiting for her to call in. But we're very excited. We've waited a long time to speak with her, and we are just so very happy to have her with us.
For those of you listening who may not know anything other than Port Charles, Laura, a.k.a. Fisk, started out on Loving, which then turned into The City. She jumped over to Guiding Light. And then in a bold move, she ended her time on Guiding Light and jumped right into the previously very, very volatile role of Carly Corinthos, Jax Corinthos, Alcazar, and Jones.
Corinthos. Yeah. It's a couple of Corinthos, for the main, Jack, Alcazar.
Hey, Candice, what's your favorite Cassie, a.k.a. Laura, moment from Guiding Light?
I mean, is there one? I mean, all of them. I mean, the way that she portrayed the character, because it was unlike what we saw before, like you said, on Loving in the City. Laura brought something new and fresh to Guiding Light, and I will still, and I'm not just saying that. Her portrayal as a single mother trying to get her daughter back, for those who know the storyline, that's how it was. She was a single mother trying to get the money so she can get her child back, so she can provide. And she had to do some things that some people wouldn't expect. I mean, she was Cassie. I mean, she was Shady Cassie. She was doing the pole. I mean, come on now, got to make that money. And to see the evolution of the character, when she found out she was a pawn in a game with Alan and Annie, to finding out that she was Reva's sister, to becoming a princess. I mean, only on soap. Well, unless
only
she's
on
Milton, but But I mean, I guess the Dinah and Cassie, dude, that was pretty good.
That was
Hart
some great
Cassie,
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, the Jeffrey Edmund. Oh man, that was a lot.
She shined during the Richard, when she got with Richard.
Yeah, the Richard, then, like I said, the Richard, Jeffrey, Edmund storyline, the Jonathan storyline with her. See, I'm going to be.
Do you guys remember
her
on The City and?
Yes.
Candice does.
Danny, I do. Even though I'm the baby, I see. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Mommy. The City was so different. I mean, the way
so fresh,
it was filmed. It would actually live up today. But Allie, I wish she could take. I mean, that, like I said, her and Paul Anthony Stewart to this day was my couple. Her and King always was City was so good too. But I mean, yeah.
What was amazing at the time too was she really went from supporting actress in Loving to immediately taking center stage in The City, and she just blew us all away. I was not a baby, but I was a youngin' at that point too, and I had the biggest crush on Allie. What about you, David? What's your favorite Laura Wright moment so far?
Every single one of them. I was sad to see her go to leave Guiding Light. And I was happy to see her show up elsewhere.
I would love it if Gina made it into Port Charles somehow, and to see a new dynamic between those two, because they were on fire together. That would be one of my bucket list moments.
I was just, if there was some way somehow that, for just a day, they could bring back The City or Loving. I've said that so many times, that Loving had the best murder mystery ever. And
ever.
So I don't look, I'm sorry, I said other soaps, but that had it. And I feel, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember when I thought that Allie had died. And, but that was on The City, when the City was doing the Masquerade episode, and it was the Happy Killer, the Happy Smile Killer. And I just remember thinking, wait, are they, because this is before spoilers and all this. Again, 13-year-old Candice watching this, and I didn't understand. I'm like, they can't kill her off. I'm like, this is the girl, this is the lady who taught me how to rollerblade. Yes, Allie, yeah, Laura, if you listen, Allie taught me how to rollerblade, because the first scene of The City is when she rollerblades through the studio. And I actually rode rollerblades that day, and I didn't know how. I was like, okay. So, yeah, see, Soap taught me things. So thanks, Soap. So, yeah, oh my gosh. And then her as Carly. The longest run. She is currently the longest running Carly.
And she had some huge shoes to fill. Sarah Joy Brown, Tamara Brown, Sarah Joy, you know what I mean. Tamara.
Yeah, Sarah Brown, Tamara,
the redhead.
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
And then she came in and she gave us the Carly we knew, but she also tweaked it and became her own Carly. And I think everybody
mature Carly.
was waiting to see what she was going to do, and came along for the ride. There was very little blowback on her taking that role. And I mean, she's an Emmy winner. She is the grand dame of Port Charles at this point.
I jumped up and down when she won, because I actually said it before she did it, when she said, hell yeah. Because, again, if you've been watching her since Loving, The City, Gone Light to now, you know that this was supposed to have happened. I'm just going to say it like that. But to see it, seeing her win for everything, and, it was just a moment, especially because we're from the same home state, Maryland. So, that may add on to why I like her too. But just, she is one of those actresses that when it's an emotional scene, and I always give her this credit, is that some actresses, you see the mascara and everything. If it's a raw emotional scene, Laura brings it. I don't care what it could be the telephone book tore apart, or Morgan's death, or her finding out about Jonathan and Tammy and stuff like that. She just brings this raw emotion that is unlike anybody in daytime.
I mean, from the very beginning, she stood up and played with the heavy hitters. Debbie Morgan, Tracy Quartermain, Jane Elliott. She owned it. Like I said, she went from supporting actress as it transferred into the city to leading lady and with authority, and then to go over to Guiding Light and I mean, the incomparable Kim Zimmer and Gina and all the players that she played with there, and then of course Jacqueline Zeman, Maurice Bernard, Tony Geary, and that whole flashback beautiful performance that she did not get the credit she deserved, and she got plenty of credit for it. That whole flashback era, I mean, really showed some, and I have always said this, I did not watch Guiding Light. I was an ABC soap fan, and I started jumping in just to see who this Cassie was. And I got hooked. I got hooked.
Yeah.
When she left Guiding Light, as the Guiding Light, I guess the quote-unquote captain of the Guiding Light fan section, I guess, it was a shock because it just happened so fast. And then,
it was fast.
And then when she went over to General Hospital, and I remember watching that day, it was a Monday that she came on, and I was like, okay, it was a bus accident, I think it was, and it said the role of Carly is now being played by Laura Wright, and I was like, she got it. And I'm going to tell you this because very few actors and actresses can jump into character ASAP. It usually takes, for a recast, 6 weeks, maybe 6 months. Laura Wright, in the first few minutes, I looked at her mannerism. I looked at that whole week I was listening to her dialogue. I was like, I was like, okay, all right, go ahead, Laura, do your thing. When she had scenes with Maurice, I was like, okay, true test, here we go. And I was like,
and Nancy too, Nancy LeGrand.
And she had, and the thing is, her and her, Steve Burton, and of course they have the Best Friends tour coming up. Make sure you go check it out. Make sure you go to eventbrite.com or whatever to find out when it comes to your city. They have this natural chemistry as well. And her and Billy Miller, I think that's the thing about Laura is that she's been a part of the daytime community for so long. It's natural. It's a natural thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Even with the newcomers of daytime, like on Guiding Light with Stephanie Gachette and now with Eden McCoy, she's taking them under her wing, and she's boom, boom, teaching you, girl. Like Laura's teaching, and you see it on your shows, and you see it with her. I can't say anything else about her because I could, but I'm like,
do you guys remember the movie Soap Dish and that scene where they talk about how the diva can own the room and how to place the hands and so on and so forth? The thing about Laura is she lets who she's playing with own the room as much as she does. And when it's time for her to step back, she doesn't over mannerism so that we have to look at her. She allows the players to play what they need to play. And when it's, when the spotlight's on her, it's on. But when it's not on her, she's just as giving as an actress in the way she supports as well as leads.
Yep.
And that's, that's daytime royalty right there.
There's certain clips. There's certain clips in my mind that when you said that, I was thinking about, again, with Stephanie Gachette, who played Tammy on Guiding Light. When Laura was, like, the final year was when Stephanie kind of was getting ready to graduate from younger to kind of the lead in the younger set because her, Tammy and Jonathan was all the rage. And the fact that, Laura kind of pulled back, like, not saying it like she meant, but just to let her have that moment, have Stephanie guide, guide, okay, those scenes, of course, you're feeling Cassie's pain, just like with Carly. Like, Cassie and Carly are sort of the same in a way as parenting goes. And I think, again, it's natural for Laura because, Laura's a mother in real life. And not only that, but, it's one of those things that, again, when you're an actress and you've already had the experience and you can actually pair it up into scenes with other people, that's fine. When when it's like, okay, you know what, we've taught them, let's see what they have learned from us and go from there. Because she had to do that too. People had to do that with Laura, and now Laura's paying it forward. See, look at that. Only in daytime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And currently on the canvas, she's playing so many dynamic, different facets of Carly. The relationship with Mike and, by extension, Yvonne is so beautiful to watch. These scenes with Jax about their daughter that they share and the history. We all know the history, and they play it without having to force feed it down our throats. We don't need flashbacks. We don't need references because they just so beautifully meld together that it brings back those feelings just when they're playing together. I mean, we could say a million things about her and Maurice, but even, characters like Olivia and the secondary characters that she interacts with, it's all so flawless and so believable that, that's why Carly, love her or hate her, Carly is one of the number one women in daytime history. Not on daytime canvas now, in daytime history. And a huge, huge. Yeah. This
is why I call her, why she plays the mature Carly. Because anybody who's watched Carly since 1997 on up, the different actresses have actually kind of became what Laura's playing. Laura, of course, she adds her own flair to it. The best way I can actually to justify is her scenes with Elizabeth, Sam, and even Robin. And the reason I put those three, because we all know those are the three ladies that have had issues. Right, has had issues with Carly, regardless of Jason or whatever. But now we're seeing mature Carly, because there's times where she still wants to rip some people's hair out. There is. But because she's now mature and she's a mother and she's did Sonya probably get married again? Yeah. Well, not even that, but just to see like how she will handle it, because now she feels as though, you know what, I have to set an example for my children. Growth. That's growth right there. And two, it's like she realizes that, look, some things are petty. Some things are not petty. Today is not a petty day. That's how she is now. So, I mean,
there was a huge character arc that it's not really discussed, but getting Jason back twice really pushed the character of Carly into the full-on maturity. When we see them interact and they joke about her scheming ways and so on and so forth, you really see the growth that character went through, having had lost, mourned, and then got her best friend back twice. And, she's not the same. Put Sarah Joy Brown into this role today, and it would be a huge task for her to play the Carly that exists now versus the Carly that she played. And,
you know what, Anthony? I actually can tell you when it was. Besides having, your best friend and whatnot, it was the whole Nell storyline. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it was like looking into a mirror with Nell, with Carly and Nell.
Yes.
Say what you want about how it played out, but Nell was sort of like, quote unquote, like Carly was. She came in all nice and sweet, but she was a little hurricane. and she was trying to destroy Lodge. And the fact that, Carly and Nell, it was weird because it kind of reminded me of Bobby and Carly.
Yeah, it was designed that way. Absolutely.
Right, but then I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I was like, hold up. Carly is getting just desserts. And the fact that Nell is doing sort of what Carly did back in the day. But to see the way that, again, like I said, this is why I said mature Carly. Because Carly, she did what she had to do because that's her DNA. And Laura played it. When you close your eyes, you actually think that the 1997 and this not take away from Sarah, that Laura played that because she was actually playing that the way the writers were writing it.
Yeah,
Laura was playing it.
Yes.
So and then there was Carly Palooza.
But then, real quick, just to roll it back though, the reason that Chloe shined as bright as she did is because Laura pulled back Carly. Laura played the mature beats of Carly and fed her, fed Chloe's shine. She fed her shine and let her be what she once was. And that's, that's got to be hard as an actress, to know, to decide how much to do and more importantly, how much not to do.
Mm-hmm. And then she finally did a Lifetime movie. I was proud of her. Sorry, get emotional. Because, you guys know me. I'm happy when I see soap actors, even though I want them to stay on soaps forever, but I also want them to push forward and show that they're just not soap actors. You know what I'm saying? And actually, it's weird that I just said that because if you guys aren't just listening to us, and you might want to wait till later on to, eat something and listen to us on the rebroadcast. Right now on E is doing a special daytime special, and Laura is actually on there, and she's talking about how great this genre is. So there you go. See, full circle right there.
Also social media-wise, and I actually commented on this a couple of days ago and again today, she never misses an opportunity to support her co-stars, to highlight her co-stars, to point out the amazing work and to celebrate the stuff that she feels is phenomenal. And, a lot, she's not the only one, I'm not saying she is, but I love that in an actress. She said some beautiful things about Eden. She's always quick to jump on the Maura bandwagon, and we all love Maura, good, bad, beautiful, ugly, Maura, and when you're vying for the same spot, the same award, and you can be that beautiful and that gracious, that says a lot about your actual character as a person.
But not only that,
guys,
also,
while we're waiting for Laura to call in because she's obviously running late, why don't we go ahead and start the soap recaps, and we'll start with General Hospital.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
There's so much to say, but I want to congratulate General Hospital for all of the beats that they hit with Oscar. They wrote everything for Eden beautifully. Bringing Jax back at that pivotal moment was epic. The way that they shuffled Billy and Kim and the daddy off to Mount Kilimanjaro. I mean, I think they just did a really beautiful job with the underplay, not beating us over the head with it, and allowing the beats to roll.
I'm going to say the acting. I mean, of course, Billy Miller, Tamaron, Eden, Gavin, who played Oscar. It was great. There was certain beats that I enjoyed, but half of me, and this is no shade, is I kind of felt as though this was a little too rushed. And let me explain, because some fans, I saw this on social media, and I had to kind of explain the situation. I'm fine with an emotional storyline on General Hospital. I feel as though sometimes when it comes down to, sweeps and stuff like that, that's when they pull out the good stuff. And we all knew that, with Billy Miller and Tam, I mean, obviously if you haven't been watching soaps, then you don't know what emotional story acting they can do, because Young and the Restless fans, Billy Miller, ladies and gentlemen, Billy Miller, and General Hospital fans from when Michael was dead, Tamara Braun. The thing is that I didn't connect to certain things because I'm still like, okay, you just made Oscar a quartermain a year ago to tie him into a core family. And not only that, with this, like as a soap fan looking at it, I'm like, okay, General Hospital, you hyped this up, but in reality, you killed off another quartermain. Like, it was a good story, but
true.
you killed another quartermain. And not only that, and I don't want anybody to be mad, but when I say this, is that Oscar was not, now, if this was switched over, okay, if this was Jocelyn or Cameron, I think I would have been more connected because it's a character that I've actually seen on the show. Oscar, I was still getting used to. I'm just like, okay, he's Drew's son, and he's Kim's son. Like, I want a little bit more about him. And I didn't like the comparisons of Jocelyn and him to Robin and Stone.
Stone, yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, time out.
I think that they tried very hard not to recreate that story, but they couldn't ignore the parallels as well. And I've said this a lot on this show. They can't, not any one of the four remaining soaps can make every fan happy. So sometimes they really do have to just go down the middle road and do the best that they can in telling a story. I would love to have gotten more of Oscar. From the very beginning, I loved that character. I understand the choice that they made, and, it opens up, I mean, honestly, even Will Cameron, I mean, it brought out the best in these characters, unfortunately, for such a horrible reason. But it brought the next level especially for Eden. Billy and Tam, we're used to that. We're used to Laura as the supporting actress for her daughter. But it brought to the forefront what these kids can really do. And, and that's some great storytelling. The fact that a lot of it was middle of the road, unfortunately, that's the way they had to go, or they would have been beaten down the Robin Stone comparison. And there's no way to ever tell that story as beautifully as they did when they told it with Robin and Stone.
Oh, amen.
And speaking of that, we can flash forward into the Nurses' Ball, which I think they did a really good job of bringing it back to the core of what it is, why it was created. They
Anthony,
had Anna
you
come
forgot
up.
to do the song. Anthony, you forgot to do the song. You're supposed to, when you talk about the Nurses' Ball, you got to do the "We welcome you to the Nurses' Ball, the Nurses' Ball, dun, 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 the Nurses' Ball." You got to have the sparkles and stuff. You got to have the,
Hi guys, sorry to interrupt you, but we have the amazing Laura Wright on with us right now. Say hello, everybody.
Hey guys.
Oh my God! Hello.
Hi, sorry I'm
and
a little
welcome.
late.
Oh, it's okay.
My son's graduating next week, and I'm running around doing tons of, last minute senior activity things with the school.
Well, Mom always comes first, so that's how that goes. So you're forgiven.
What was that?
Yeah.
Thank you for fitting us in while you're running around with family.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, we've waited quite some time to speak with you, and we can't even tell you how excited we are, if you couldn't already tell that. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. I guess we'll just dive into our questions so we don't keep you real long.
I can't wait.
Thank you. So we have, on General Hospital, Jocelyn with Oscar dying, standing by your husband with his father Mike having Alzheimer's, his daughter Christina in a cult, nurse's ball, and all this while Carly's pregnant.
Sounds like a soap opera.
Sounds like real life in a way, but not quite.
That's so funny.
So when you heard Carly was going to be pregnant on top of all this, what was your first thought?
I go, what? Are you serious? I thought they were joking. I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't want to have to wear, like, the belly and all that, because it's, like, twice the amount of work of getting dressed every day. You have to, like, it used to be easy where you just slide in a pillow and it kind of looked like a pillow, but now they've rigged this it looks good once you're locked in, but the whole process of, like, it's a lot, and it's a piece of rubber, and so it's hot, and like, there's a lot. I mean, it sounds like there are certainly champagne problems, right? Like, really that's your biggest complaint. But I'm like, really? I don't want to have to wear that anymore. Like, aren't I too old? And then I just wanted to tell the story if we were going to really tell the story. Like, let's tell it what it's like for a woman at this age to find out, oh my God, are you serious? I'm pregnant? Like, I don't know if I want to do this again. And then, the full circle coming back around and going, I can't not do it, but if any woman at 48 found out that she was pregnant, she might go, what?
Exactly.
So I think, and they were funny because they were like, oh, we didn't know if you mind if we brought up your age. I'm like, of course we need to bring up the age. What's the point of telling the story if we don't really tap into all the complications that so many people go through with this situation?
Kudos.
And so,
Yeah.
And so we did that, and I love it. I'm the kind of actress that give me anything, and I have fun playing it.
Well,
I don't care.
I think it's wonderful that you're. Yeah, I think it's wonderful that they are doing this storyline, because in a way it kind of goes with what I went through. I had 3 kids. My youngest had just turned 6, and I thought, oh, yay, I get a little bit of break. She goes to school, all of them will be in school. And I was in my mid-30s and found out I was pregnant. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I took 3 tests. So, yeah, I can go with that story.
Yeah, and those tests are pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Definitely. Well, then you have been on Loving the City, Guiding Light, and General Hospital, and we're just wondering how you feel the soap world has changed since you started.
Oh, well, I mean, I think we all see how it's changed. I mean, I started, there were 12 soaps, or maybe 11 or 12, and now there's 4.
Yeah.
We would shoot 1 show a day. Sometimes we shoot up to 4. Where our out time is at 8 o'clock. And when I was on Loving, we were always on every day by 5. And we would be leaving when all my children's dinner was being brought into the building, because they were always there till 10 o'clock every night, shooting 1 show. If they were shooting a normal show, if all my children were shooting any big, like, wedding or function, which, on a soap opera back in the 90s happened every other week, they were there till 2 or 3 in the morning. So all of it's changed. We move faster. We have, twice as much dialogue, but we're still holding strong. I think we're having a great time. It's still a lot of fun, and we still get the similarities are we get to tell story and relationship stories and connect with our fans 5 days a week. The hard part, the part I think that's different is, and I don't think a lot of the fans see it, thank God, is how fast we work. It's really so much behind the scenes, and that's not just the actors, it's the writers, the directors, the producers. Everyone, whether people see it or not, everyone is doing the best they can and working so hard. I mean, it went from 1 show a day to sometimes 9 shows a week, and that means everyone. Directors are shooting more. I mean, think about a director. I mean, the other day we had 170 pages we shot. Like, that's insane amount of work. So we just, we kill it, and it's just faster. But still, we get to tell great stories about relationships, and it's amazing.
You know, I can't even imagine how you guys all do it. I really can't. I mean, I know how busy I am, and I don't even work anymore, except if you want to call this work, you know. But I don't know how you do it between your normal life and doing the show, and then going everywhere that you go and doing things. I don't know how you do it. I mean, do you have somebody that schedules your every minute, or do you just know what you have to do that day?
I schedule my life and my kids and like everything. I handle everything on my own. And I have a manager who helps me with certain business things, but I do everything on my own. That's
you're good.
Personality, though. Like when you're a mama too, and you have a job, like you got to, you know, I know what's happening. And it's so funny, like my room looks like my closet exploded because I've been running and going with my son, but like everything else is fine. I was late to this, but that's, you know, I wasn't going to cut out early on him until I had to. But
right.
But yeah, like my whole, you know, I kind of do it myself. And I think that's kind of everyone though. Like I don't know, a lot of my friends are moms, and some of them are working actors, some of them are winemakers, some of them are lawyers, some of them are stay-at-home moms, some of them are nurses. Like I have a whole bunch of different friends, and we're all a mess. Like no one has it figured out, you know. Everyone's just showing up, doing the best they can, and it is what it is. Like I just have a different job. It's not really anything. Like my life as a mom and a woman is no different than anyone else's. It's you know, I'm just a mom with a different job, basically.
Well, but you do it so well, and I think you should write a book or a template or something.
I actually did a whole bunch of, you know, the whole thing about books anymore. Like it's different. Like you can write a book, which is great, but anymore because that's how we used to reach a lot of people, you know. But now with the internet and social media, like I would rather do internet events where I talk to people, like where I'm on a social media situation where I don't know how, like a Zoom call or something where I can talk to people and connect with them in the moment, because books are a lot of work, a lot of money to make, and you don't have a lot of people buying them anymore when they can connect to the person.
This is true.
I don't know, I've actually been doing a lot of investigating where that's concerned. And, you know, where you want to put your energy in this day and age and be really present with people is instant connection. And I try to do that with fan events. I'm doing like a tour of the East Coast, Chicago, Cleveland, Rochester. Maryland, yes. New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And so I'm doing that in August, which is a great way to connect. But if I can't get to people, I can certainly schedule, like figure out a way to like hit like 50 people at a time, doing like an internet situation where I can be like, "What's up, people?" You know, and ask questions or share stories. Something. I mean, I'm more interested in helping people change their lives. I mean, it's amazing doing fan events and hanging out with people, but I kind of want to affect people more than just a hug and an 8x10. You know what I mean? Especially women. No,
right. Right. But don't ever take that part away from us either.
No, but I mean, like, you know, being a woman and going through a lot in 48 years, and I have a lot of people ask me tons of questions about my personal life, my personal journey, and how I've overcome certain things or how I deal with certain things. I'd love to like share with people, and you know, there were many resources I used throughout my life, and I would love to be a resource in someone else's life at some point. But you know, we'll see what happens.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, you'll fit that in eventually, I have no doubt. Now, I also wanted to make a mention that you were an executive producer for Taste Life and associate producer for Slate. Do you feel like you'd like to move more into that direction of producing instead of acting, or keep doing both?
I do love producing. I am, but I like working with actors, and I don't mean in a direction way. Like when I'm on set and and I see an actor struggle with motivation or say, I don't think I would do this, or I don't understand, and I've been one of those actors, and I can have my moments as well. I love being the person to say, I see 1,000 ways we can make this work. And usually the one reason an actor says I can't or I don't think I would is because there's fear based in it or something like that. I'd like to work with people. Like, I look at things and say, I could do this scene on my head and pretend I'm in a yoga class. And it'll still be the best scene of the show. Like, that's the kind of person I am. I'm like, let's take this scene and make it the weirdest scene we've ever seen. and you know, but yet still make it true to the characters. And I think that especially on daytime television, we have these characters for so long, and we tell them 5 days a week, and we work so hard, and then they win. And you especially if you're like in a couple situation, like a coupling, and all of a sudden they throw a monkey wrench and someone cheats or someone lies or someone, and they're like, oh, I would never. And I'm like, let's look at America. Yes, you would, because many people do. And these characters aren't real, so they would do anything. And let's see how we get to the like. I find the journey of justifying why your character does what they do the most fun of being a soap opera actress. It's so easy to say I would never, but the a million reasons to why you would is so amazing. Especially when the character's not you, you're not really have to deal with the consequences. How fun is that?
Yeah, that's
Amen. Yeah.
Like you can go up and say anything to anyone, and that's not real. Like I've worked with people in the past who are like, well, I wouldn't say that to her. It's rude. And I'm like, give it to me. I'll say it all day long. I'll be rude all day long. And then it's like, I love the actress. Like, you know, if I have to say something rude or mean, it's not personal. It's just a character thing. But I totally get why somebody would. There's a million. You know, if we're so perfect and good, there's no reason for us to watch the show.
Oh, exactly.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to.
We want it definitely for the drama. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, look at Melrose Place. When that show first came on, they were all roommates and everyone was nice. The show was about to be canceled. It was so boring. They bring Heather Locklear in. Then all of a sudden, Kimmy's bald head comes back and she's bald and ready to kill it. And you're like, I'm in, all in.
On the edge of your seat, yeah.
I mean, right? Like before those, and Dr. Michael becomes an asshole. We were like, sorry about you. I'm sorry, I just passed, but whatever.
Fine.
But anyway,
You're fine.
Michael becomes psycho, and we're like, the freaking ratings are off the hook. You're like, there you go. Yep. You got Heather Locklear being a sexy bad girl. You got Kimmy being the psycho. It's awesome. All of a sudden, we were screaming and yelling at the television.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what we do daily.
I grew up watching this. I mean, I will never forget the episode where there was a car accident, and you think Kimmy's dead, and her phone's like, I forget how they shot it. And the next season where he's with her in a hotel room, they have sex, and she goes in the bathroom, she's staring in the mirror, and she pulls off her wig.
Yeah,
she pulls off her wig.
Yep.
You'll never forget that moment.
Yep. That was a who shot
your head off, like,
moment.
Get out. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you have people that go, I would never do that. I'm like, okay, well, I never out of a job. I'm going to do this and have fun.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, why not? It's so fun. And guess what? The character's not real, so I can play all day long.
Right. And I think some people are amazed. They take soap operas so seriously, and they're amazed to see that in real life you're hanging out with your total enemy from the show,
Oh gosh,
and they're
people,
Mara
West
doing?
and I are really good friends. Yeah. Mara West and I are really good friends. People are like, that's so weird seeing you guys together, and I'm like, are you kidding? And let me tell you something. You really have a great arch enemy when you're good friends because there's such a trust. Like, I adore Mara, and she's one of my closest friends. And so when she walks on, and I have such respect for her. So when she walks on set and plays Ava, like, we seriously go for it, and we both honor what the other has to do because we know that you're only as good as your scene partner. And if I don't lift her up, and she doesn't lift me up, then you guys aren't going to be entertained.
Right.
It's not about my ego. It's about how do I serve the audience and how do I serve the script.
Right.
We were just talking about
anything
that before you got
anything
on.
else is ego.
Yep.
Yeah. Everything else is ego. And we've all been there, don't get me wrong. It's not like I haven't had my moments of that either. It's just, I've been doing it so long now that I got to look at myself a little bit and go, wow, that doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I could ask you a million questions myself, but we're going to move on to Candice and let her go ahead and ask her questions.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi there. I'm great, thank you.
Well, we were literally, earlier before you came on, we were talking about how you are that actress that will sometimes let the other person take the spotlight, only because you've taught them. You're kind of like the teacher now. And we noticed that more with you and Eden McCoy, who plays Jocelyn, of course. And we're seeing that teacher-student kind of thing happening. How is it like working with her?
Oh, my God. I love her. She's incredible. Look, you can put out whatever you want to put out and hope to have a relationship and hope that people, young kids, you understand, sometimes they want to grab on to your experience and sometimes they want to pave their own way. And I get both paths, actually.
Right.
Eden is doing both. She's, there are times when I'll help her and I'll see that she does something different. And I'm like, yeah, I love that she did that. She's incredible. And I'm just honored to work with her. And that's the truth. Like, there are, and when you say, like, there are times when I let other people shine, there are times as an actor, when it's their scene. I don't care if it's Eden or anyone else. And if you want to undermine that, then you're an asshole. Sorry. Again, I keep doing that. Yeah. You can bleep me, right? But there
you're good.
You're good. There is you honor your fellow actor, and when it's your moment there. When it's about, Oscar's dying and it's Eden's moment. I'm there to support and hug that girl and let her know you are free to do whatever you need to do as an actor, and I got you. That's what we're there for. It is not about me. It's not about me. It's about her. It's about the story. And I see how hard she was working. I might have been in 2 days that week. That girl was in 5 days and probably did 7 shows in 5 days and did volleyball practice and went to high school and is kicking ass. Like, so for me to walk in and make it about me is, not that doesn't happen, I'm sure, in the business, but it's not happening on our show. And it doesn't happen on our show. So, Eden shows up every day, knowing her dialogue. She's family, 100% family, and her mom's amazing. And I feel honored to work with her. It's such a gift to have her play Jocelyn. And I have to say, when Ingo showed up recently, he was like, "Wow, she's amazing." And I love he said, "And you two are just alike." And I'm like, yes. And I love that he says that, not for me, but for the fans to say, oh, I totally believe she's Carly's daughter, right? Like, what a gift to the fans to get to see that Carly finally got her daughter, and she's cut from the same cloth, It's, like, amazing. So I love it.
Yeah, I mean, while watching the scene, it's literally like you can actually pass as, mother and daughter,
Yeah.
And we were saying earlier, I watch, I feel like you're like my sister, my older sister, my aunt type too, because from loving the city and of course Gone Light, you have somewhat of the same chemistry with Eden that you had with Stephanie Gachette, who played Tammy. It's sort of, again, like that teacher-student role. And
I was a little younger with Stephanie.
Right.
Cassie on Guiding Light was softer, and so was Stephanie, whereas Carly is much tougher, and so is now, so is Jocelyn. And the story they wrote, like Jocelyn or Eden and I were talking, I was like, something to never forget is you buried a boyfriend. You're with someone as they died. That forever changes your character. Don't ever lose that piece of the puzzle. So when they write something cute or sweet or something that's very innocent and young, and your instinct might be to go so youthful, don't forget you watch someone die. It changes you. Carry it with you every day when you're on this set.
Good.
And so
good job.
Well, and it's true. It's like you carry that.
It is.
And it's one of those things that, like, no matter what, even if it's the cutest, sweetest, most innocent moment, and that's what makes those next cute, sweet, innocent moments so great, because you can find yourself caught up in the innocence, and then you catch yourself, and that fear and pain comes back. And then we get to have those moments that we gift the audience with. Like, I don't know, I just find those are the nuances that are beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's and we get
go
to do that 5 days a week. Yeah.
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 Oh.
Yeah, I do it all the time, you know. And, like, you know, when Carly watched Kim come out with her son and put him on the table before he left for the last time, and Carly knows 100% what it's like to never see her son again.
Mhm.
You know, so I get, you know, not that I made them focus on me, but I certainly got to have a moment, or I got to bring emotion to the scene that was different than what other people would do. You know, like than a mom who has her kids, like, you know. So it's you know, it's the stuff we get to bring because we're character actors, and we get to do it 5 days a week.
Mhm. And you guys are, like, I always say, besides military and moms, daytime actors, everybody in the daytime community are the hardest working people. And I, by far, biggest cheerleader when I say go team go, because I know how hard you guys work.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So I'm just, you know, putting it out there. Okay.
No, thank you. I just love it. Like, you know, and all we can do is pass the baton to these young. I mean, what's the point if we don't share what we know and gift? But, you know, it has to be on their timetable, right? Like, second, you want to tell, like, and I'll ask somebody, may I share something with you? Because it's not, who am I to tell somebody what to do? Like, you know, my age and experience doesn't mean that I know better. It's their character. And so you always should ask before you step on people's toes. Okay. And then once they say yes, I'll step all over them. I do. And they know it, and they know I love them.
Okay. So my next question is, most Gone Life fans were excited to hear about Cynthia Watros joining the cast.
Yeah.
Some people don't know, Crazy Annie is coming to GH. What was your reaction, and have you two stayed in touch over the years?
We have not. We're Facebook friends, but we have not. I was so excited when I heard the news. I was like, oh, my gosh, I love Cynthia. She's super talented, gorgeous, and a lot of fun. You know, Your Hospital is a great set. The women that we have on our show, they're really strong actors, strong women, and a lot of fun. And we're all very supportive. We have a great female cast, and I'm super excited for her to join because she's great. I love Cynthia.
Yeah. I was like, oh, please let them have a scene with Laura and Cynthia, just so.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Trust me, there's probably somebody, mainly me, like tweeting Frank Valentine and everybody to let that happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, if you could go back in time to visit a young Laura who maybe is enjoying a Maryland crab cake like I am in a few minutes, what would current Laura say? I know, right? What would current Laura say to young Laura about the life lessons you have learned?
Oh. You know, I wouldn't say anything that was going to happen because I think I would say you have to feel everything you're going to go through and feel it, and you're going to become stronger because of it. But don't run from it. Like pain and life stumbles and tragedy, all they do is they enrich your life. They make life richer, and they make the sad not seem as sad. And they make the beautiful even more beautiful. I do that. You know, we can do hard things, man. We can do hard things. We are built for that. We're not built for pill popping and numbing through other stuff, but we are built to take hard things. Go run a hill and get out your energy. Go work out. Go to the gym. Go do. My son will text me, I'm really tired at school, Mom. I'm like, go outside and do jumping jacks. Like, go change your energy, but learn from it. Feel it, accept it, and move on. I remember one therapist said to me once, the only way out is through. And I was like, whatever. And for a good year, I was like giving her the middle finger, like, I'm going to do it my way. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, she's like, the only way out is through. You have to go through whatever you're supposed to go through to be done with it. And then my girlfriend said, not only is the only way out through, the only way through is inward. And then then you got to look at yourself.
Yeah.
So I would just say stop running and sit with it. You know, we don't want to feel the uncomfortableness of that life can hand us sometimes at any age. But if you sit and hang out with it and invite it in and say, hang out with me, let me see why I'm uncomfortable. What's the worst case scenario? I got this. And that's all. But I'd never tell young Laura what was coming, ever.
There you go.
Because then you get to dodge it, and then I wouldn't be who I am.
And
you know?
so many fans, so many listeners right now is listening to that and going, amen. Thank you. Amen.
Yeah.
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 And that's, you know, and I don't care what you do for a living, you know, it hits us. So many people say to me, oh, you're so happy. You're so this. And I'm like, you know what? Life has built-in sucky things. We're probably going to bury a pet. We're definitely are going to bury our parents. These are things we're going to go through one day, right? There are built-in sucky things. We're probably going to get flat tire. We probably should have changed the oil before we did. Lots of things that suck. So when life is not sucking, we should be absorbing every beautiful moment of it, because it's going to come around and suck again eventually, because nothing lasts forever, even the good times.
Sure.
So when it's not sucking, we should be rejoicing. You know, like I'll wake up and be like, oh my God, the birds. Or if I'm sitting out back when it's raining, but yet the trees are so green, I'm like, how about that? Like this past year, I watched both my parents take their last breath. And I have to tell you, the gift that I got from that was to live while I can.
Right.
And that's why when people are like, you're just always in a good mood, I'm like, why? It's a choice every day, by the way. And why wouldn't I be?
Yes, sir.
And it's not because of my job or because of the car I drive. You know, I have kids that, you know, that make me feel like kids that are annoying teenagers that tell me I suck, just like everybody. You know, I have the same stuff that everyone else has. My job doesn't change that. So it's a choice every day to say, wow, did you hear those birds outside? They were talking specifically to me. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't care, but I tell myself that.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And my daughter's like, I don't know if that's true. I'm like, in my world, it's true.
Exactly.
It's just, you know, it's a choice. And people used to tell me, it's a choice. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I finally realized it's a choice. Every day you choose grievance or miracle. Every day.
Yeah.
You know,
so
it started with a happiness jar. I was going through not the happiest moment in my life, and someone told me about a happiness jar, and I put this big mason jar next to my bed with a Post-it pack and a pen, and every night before I went to bed, I'd say, okay, one thing that made me happy today, whether it be the sun shining, a bird, or meeting someone new that told me something interesting. And that changed my whole perspective on life. Everything.
Well, I'm going to be taking bits and pieces of what you said. No, I'm going to be taking bits and pieces of what you said, and I'm going to put it in my life and see what it does for me. I'm really, because everybody has bad days. So, but thank you, Candice, for your questions.
But you know, the days that they are not the greatest, I wrap myself in a blanket, I turn on SVU Law and Order, and I'm like, I'm not leaving today, and I'm going to Postmate some cheesy pasta, and it's going to be one of those days. And then I'm going to find joy in that, you know, opposed to going, life sucks, I don't want it. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to wrap myself in my unhappiness and really be happy in that place. You know, like, you know, not everybody has a happy, great day, but you can be acceptant. You can accept that and from a good place.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Anthony, you're up next.
Hey,
bring it
Laura,
on, Anthony.
Yeah, Staten Island.
What you got?
I want to touch back on what you were saying before because it goes in with my first question. 8x10 and a hug. We've interacted at Super Soap and a couple other events, and it's never been 8x10 and a hug. But when we announced that you were coming on today, there were so many messages I couldn't even copy and paste back a standard response to the fans out there that wanted to interact with you. So if you ever get a chance
I love
to
hearing
do
that.
those podcasts, you have a built-in audience. And tonight's conversation already has about 30 hashtag moments. And
yes.
in that spirit, you're doing the Best Friends Tour this summer. Can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect and how you feel about the relationship with Carly and Jason, how it's grown, and where you guys are now?
Well, I think it's one of my favorite relationships on the show, and I'll tell you why. I think the Jason and Carly relationship, and I think it's Sonny's in there as well, but there's a little different. Jason would drop everything in the world for Carly, and Carly would do the same for Jason. And Carly and Jason would drop almost anything for Sonny. I don't know if he dropped anything for them. And we say that all the time. I'm like, I don't know if Sonny would stop hanging out with some short little cute brunette to go hang out with Carly if she needed him. Like, that's our joke. But I think it's like the best friendship ever in daytime. It's like I die without you. It's that safety net. It's unshakable. And I love that. And the other reason I love it is because it causes problems on in their other world. It causes problems. Like any man or woman that's with Jason or Carly, they have to deal with that, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Intimate situations, Carly calls, Jason drops everything. If Carly's in an intimate situation and Jason calls, Carly drops everything. So I think that for sure it gives you a built-in conflict for a soap opera storyline. So I love it. What can we expect from the Best Friend tour? Well, lots of fun stories. Steve Burton is someone that's finally going to be honest about Steve Burton. I think Steve does these events with Bradford because he's like, oh, Steve's my best friend. Carly's going to show up and be like, let me tell you what it's like to work with Steve Burton. And Steve and I are really close. And I want to do a lot of shooting behind the scenes. We don't know what we're going to do with it, but not just with on stage, but yeah, we're going to totally record all the behind the week of touring. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be lots of laughing. It's going to be great stories, a lot of fun. The only thing we're not really doing is an autograph section. And I know a lot of people were like, what, we're not signing autographs? We only cut that out of the shows that the fans are used to going to because we're doing 7 shows in a row and traveling and driving ourselves on this tour, and adding the autograph signing section as another hour and a half. And it's a lot when we're trying to get, and we'd rather give the interaction as a group, as a show, and then be able to have a picture we're individually taking a picture with everyone. But the sitting down and signing, it adds a whole other couple hours, and then we can't get to the next venue. And we only have the week. So we thought, most people in this day and age really love their photo on their phone or recording it. So we really wanted to give people what they most wanted. And we didn't want to cut anything out, but we had to for travel. So we're excited. I can't wait.
Awesome. Again, you've never been just a hug and a picture and, okay, next. And I can absolutely
say that. I hate it, which is
to everyone out there who's going.
If you give me autograph signing sessions, it's like, Steve's like, Laura, stop talking. I'm like, but we have to fix this person's life. We're sharing. I'm like the worst. So.
Well, we want to be respectful of your time, and I want to be respectful of our listeners. So would you mind if I threw a few names at you and you just give us a one-sentence tagline of some of the great people you've worked with?
Okay, I can't wait. Yes.
All right, I'm going to start with Debbie Morgan.
Oh, hugs. I have to say hugs. I love her.
Awesome. Kelly Ripa.
Oh, my God. The most fun, hilarious, loving. There's no one word for Kelly Ripa. Are you kidding? She's amazing. One of my most favorite people on the planet. And the most, oh, my gosh, she's probably the most generous, loving, funny, caring, honest. I mean, the list goes on. Kelly Ripa is one of my favorite people.
And you guys were roommates, right?
We weren't roommates. No, I would spend the night at her apartment a lot because I worked on Loving, so I had a no air conditioned little apartment. She was on All My Children. She had a full high rise air condition. So when it was really hot in the summer, I would go and spend the night at her place, but I had my own place.
All right. Reva, Kim.
Oh my gosh. Big, bad, amazing Kim Zimmer. I mean, she's just and the most incredible mom on the planet. Love her.
Aww. Nice.
Our joke with all the Guiding Light people is that our joke on Guiding Light is that that her daughter's son won the lottery on grandmothers, because if Kim Zimmer's your grandmother, you're the luckiest human on the planet.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. How about Gina T?
Gina Tognoni? Oh my gosh, one of the hardest working women in the business. 100%. Intense.
Awesome.
Passionate, kind, honest, and loving. I love Gina Tognoni.
Jackie Zeman.
Oh, Mama. Oh, gosh, Jackie, she's a special woman. She really is. She travels the world. She sees it through eyes of such gratitude and appreciation. I'm lucky to spend my days with her when I get to work with Jackie.
Tony Geary.
Oh, oh my gosh, Tony is just fun and open and free and giving.
Well, you gave us Steve, you gave us Maura, so I'm going to close it out with the one that everybody wants. You gave us Ingo with the one that everybody wants to know.
You want the king, Maurice Bernard, don't you?
Yeah. You can give us 5 sentences for Maurice.
Oh, my gosh, Maurice, one of my best friends. He's one of my best friends. He's one of the most honest people I've ever met. We get to grow together as humans and as actors. And I love being his Carly.
Wow, that's so sweet. Thank you for
and that's all
this whole conversation.
Oh, you're welcome. That's all true too. I love working with Maurice. He's a very special person in my life, and I adore him. And I'm grateful, truly grateful. It's been 14 years of getting to know him and his incredible family, and I love it.
Sidebar note, that scream we heard during the Emmys, was that you?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
When they called his name,
then it's really funny when and I told this to Maurice, he knows this. I told Paula too, and she's like, I understand. When he went on stage, and I saw him struggling, it took, and Steve Burton and I said the same thing. It took everything in us not to go up there and hold his hand, because the three of us are a threesome of support. And if Maurice is having an interesting day or struggling or something, and I don't mean if he's got 3 shows and I'm only in one of them, I'm like, dude, are you okay? That's 3 freaking shows. And he'll be like, or if he's concerned about something, I'm like, what's going on? And Maurice, and vice versa. If he sees I'm in a place, he's like, what's going on? But when Maurice was on stage accepting his Emmy and I saw him up there struggling, it was so hard not to go up there and say, what do you need? You got this. What do you want to say? And just be his person to bounce it off of. And when I told Steve later, Steve was like, "Oh my God, me too." And that was so telling on how close the three of us are. And then when we shared that with Paula, she was like, "Oh my God, I love that." And she goes, "And I felt the same thing." Paula's like, "I didn't think he was going to win." And so we were all. It was just amazing. It was so amazing, and he's one of my favorite people. I love him. He's like I said, he's a family member.
Thank you for giving us that.
Thank
you.
Thanks,
well, thank
Anthony.
you guys. I'm
Next
going to go
up.
be a mom again.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling in and taking the time, and thank your son and everybody for allowing us to have this time with you. And congratulations on his graduation ahead of time.
Oh, thank you so much. And have a great Memorial Day weekend, you guys. Be safe.
You too.
Thank you. And we'd love to have you back again one day.
Sounds perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, if that conversation wasn't full of hashtag moments, I don't know what was.
Hashtag dream came true. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not crying. Okay.
All right. So I guess we need to get back to the recaps. We covered Oscar. I think briefly we should just mention the Nurses Ball. David, what do you think so far?
I enjoyed everybody's performance very much. I think, the one thing that I noticed, that there was no sponsor this year.
Yeah, I think with the flack that they've gotten over the last couple of years, the infomercial within the Nurses Ball, they kind of took that to heed this year. As far as the performances themselves, they picked the perfect pieces to highlight the performer and the storyline with, said performer, Ava, Jocelyn. The songs that were chosen were really, really well chosen.
Oh, man.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I teared up when Cameron sang and when Jocelyn sang.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved the Nurses Ball, and to me, they can't do any wrong with that. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet, except I'm going to mention one thing, and that's Milo's. What does he call him? Milo's what?
Magic
Milo?
In the Magic Wand?
Sarah. Yes. That's the one thing I miss. But other than that, the Nurses Ball brings everything to us that we normally watch with our characters, but also shows us other things that they can do, like the singing and the dancing. And, of course, one of the ones that stood out was, Chase, Josh Swickard, and doing his...
Yeah.
And I always love Kathleen, and I always love, Maura, and that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not the first time that we saw Roger Howitt sing?
Franco, yeah, it
Yep,
is. And what a surprise. And what a great choice with Guilty.
First time on? No.
Yeah, because he played with, he got up there with Jake, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. But it was the first time him singing, which I was so happy as a Roger Howitt fan. I was like, if anybody's gone to any event, or even if you went to New York and hung out in front of the One Life to Live studios back in the day, Roger can actually sing. So to see him do it on the Nurses Ball, I was like,
and come on, to take on Barbara Streisand and Barry Gibb. That's, you got to give credit where credit's due.
Oh,
right.
The two of them shined.
And then he did the Wayne Newton little, like, he like winked and did like the, like, oh, like, really? Like, okay. Vegas? Anybody? Vegas? Okay. Like,
that was a total
beautiful
surprise. I never expected Franco up there.
Yeah, and what a beautiful setup too for all the storylines that are coming. The proposal, Ryan and Ava. They really, really did a great job of integrating. Some of the Nurses Balls in the past were a little choppy with current storyline and coming storyline and the Nurses Ball itself. This year they really, really seamlessly put it together. And kudos. And yay, she said yes. I had to say that.
well, we all know but we know what the fallout's going to be. A certain somebody's coming back. Hi, Hayden. Oh, is that the baby?
Mm-hmm.
The baby's going to come back and he's going to be 16. He's
like the role of Hayden and the role of Hayden and Finn's child is now being played by Scott Bailey. There you go.
Well, let's hop on a shuttle and head over to Salem. Big things have been going on over there.
We got a new commish. The commish.
We got a new mayor. We got a new commish.
We got a new
face. A match made in heaven. Even Jack.
Well, that's all I gotta say.
Well, since this is a recap show for anyone who hasn't enjoyed Salem, Jack won the mayoral election. He promptly fired Hope. He promptly installed his true love, Eve, in as commissioner. Jennifer, I think, just about lost the top of her head. It's probably up somewhere in the trees in Horton Square.
Somewhere.
JJ is on the run with sweet little Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Claire is TikToking crazy to a really great level. Her crazy is so beautiful to watch.
She's on fire.
We got some beautiful sin scenes. Sierra and Ben have fire.
Connected.
You know, and then the biggest reveal of them all, which we have to mention, by the way, Maggie, is just Suzanne. Girl, if you're not nominated next year. But the biggest reveal of them all came Friday. They pulled a bolt in the beautiful moment when all of a sudden Nicole turns around and says, well, I'm celebrating. And Amanda says, aren't we celebrating, darling? And we realize that who he's been working with is actually Nicole. That was a bold and the beautiful Sheila's
Is it truly Nicole?
Well,
yeah, okay.
I guess we're going to find out.
That's my question.
Mm-hmm. I have a crystal ball. Let me look in the crystal ball. Hold on. Let me look really closely.
Kristen, I see Kristen.
I see it too. I've kind of been calling it. I've been calling it for a long time now.
Yep. I guess we're all on the same page as far as that's concerned.
Thanks, Ron. Don't screw this up, Ron. I'm telling you.
No, please don't. Please don't, Ron.
Don't do this.
You were sagging. You were sagging for a couple of months where we were kind of questioning where could this possibly go, and you just knocked it out of the park. Stay on point, stay on beat, because we are all at the edge of our seat.
Wait a minute. What, Anthony, wait a minute. Hold up. I got to say this. Ron, it's me, Candice. You know, we're friends. Not really. I don't know. Don't do what you did over on General Hospital to this Nicole storyline. I'm going to just give you that. Don't you go back. Go forward. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to us. They fans don't know, but we who watches all the soap, we do know. So it could either go good or it could go. Ugh. I mean, I got to give Ari her props though. Ari is doing a good job. Mm-hmm. So keep it.
The
high.
best
Don't
comeback of the year up until this point had been when Eve walked in New Year's Eve. But I have to say, if not surpassing, then equal on foot was Nicole coming back and the entire week of what is this? Who is this? Culminating with, oh my God, this isn't this. It can't be this.
No, it can't be.
And it's rippling across. Again, I just have to say, Suzanne, sweetheart, you have been here for almost the entire length of the show, and you still bring a freshness to Maggie. Kudos this week. Kudos.
I've never seen Maggie come unglued like that, though. It's refreshing to me because I've never seen her as the alcoholic. I can't remember that far back.
Because it happened in the 70s.
One thing we have to give Days that the other shows really need to pay attention to, and there's a lot of things that Days have done in the last 2 years that they should be paying attention to, but Victor, Maggie, Kate, they are all in current and not in storylines where they are propping and moving the storyline forward. They are all in equally interesting storylines of their own. And, you know, when an actress gets to a certain age, she suddenly becomes, you know, the mom, the grandma, the support, the AKA, you know, the stirrer like Julie. But look at Suzanne. Look at the material that she's working with. That is lead actress right there. And so kudos, you know, the rest of the three that are on, please pay attention. You know, Jackie Zeman, for instance, can carry, you know, a story. You know, there's quite a few on The Young and the Restless that are starting to pick back up. Tracy, for example. You know, pay attention, guys, because Days is doing it right.
Suzanne's making it real. She did a fabulous job this week. And you know, how much can you take? She's getting older, and the issues are harder. And Victor's being an ass. Oh, all those scenes with Kate. And Kate's got her claws out.
Do you think she's heading in that direction, Carolyn?
Yes, she's.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't have anybody, so she's Kate.
All the young men are spoken for, or her child, or family. So right now she's basically got only Victor to look at the moment. So you know, Kate's no fool.
Yeah, she's only nice. She's only nice when she wants something.
Carolyn, what are you loving the most right now?
I'm liking the storyline with JJ and Haley. That's been very emotional. It's I don't know where it's going to go. And Claire's doing a fabulous job. She's leaving, right? Yeah. Did you see when Ben walked in and she was ready to burn Tripp's clothes yesterday?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the look in her eye. She comes from such a nice family.
You know, it's a soap opera town. We've got to have a crazy. And you know, thank the talents that be behind the scenes at Days of Our Lives for recognizing that that's material that not only can she handle, but I like me some crazy Claire. I wish she wasn't going, quite frankly. I wish we could get a year's worth of crazy Claire.
Yeah, so mamby-pamby when she started, and now she's coming into her own. And now she's
I mean, come on. When you put an actress like that up against, drum roll please, Miss Cassie DePaiva, which I wish I could have asked Laura about her as well, but time-wise we had what we had. When you put an actress up against Cassie DePaiva and you not only carry the scene, but you take the scene, you got chops, girl. Good for you.
Yeah, for her to be crazier than Eve. Eve, well, the other day she stepped back because she knew, this one's bad.
Yep.
The scenes were excellent.
Oh boy, and Greg Bourne, just real quick, you know, he gets lost in the shuffle a lot. I just want to point out Greg Bourne this week too. Yeah.
He was like so good this week. I'm sorry. Did I say that all out? I'm sorry. Sorry. I forgot we was doing the show. I forgot. My inner thoughts came out. I'm sorry. Hi, Greg.
Yeah, today.
David, what about you? What are you loving in this?
What am I loving about Days of Our Lives?
Yeah.
Actually, let me see. I'm loving Claire. Olivia seems to be on fire these days, and it's so sad that it's always at the actor's end of her stint.
Yeah.
And
the Chloe Nell syndrome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Candice?
Well, it's going to be a tearjerker with the funeral. Trying to get who's going, and Victor's not going.
Yeah.
Brady finally told Eric that he can go. So that's going to be a tearjerker, seeing everybody together.
And then big reveal. I bet it's gonna happen. I see you.
And
Well,
Nicole
I see how you
really isn't. Yeah, how's Nicole? Nicole is not Nicole, and how is she going to
I have a theory
pull
about
that off?
though.
Well,
I actually have a theory. In the soap, okay, here we go, Candice, thinking like a soap writer. It would be an interesting twist if real Nicole is being held somewhere that Xander and Kristen Demira knows where and torment her. Like saying, you know, like, I don't know, like, for some reason, I don't think real Nicole is dead. I think she's out there somewhere, and that Xander and fake Nicole knows, and, like, doing, like, I don't know. It's going to be some kind of, like, a switcheroo. I believe, like, in my mind, as a soap writer, I would do that. Have Nicole come back and be like, kind of like, what's going on? And everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry about Holly. And then Nicole's freaking out or something. I don't know. Like, it would be so soapy, though, if they did that, though.
yes, there's going to be a twist.
If Holly is with real Nicole, and that's the blackmail that they're using to keep her out of the scene, and when they shuffled her off to wherever she was going, she's actually going to real Nicole. I mean, this is there are so many possibilities, and they've been teasing us with how great this storyline is. And from the looks of it, I'm right on board. You know, back in the day, Sheila Phyllis, you know, it's got that kind of
switching babies and switching bodies, and anything can happen.
Well, time-wise, we still have 2 soaps to cover, so why don't we hop a red eye over to Los Angeles and talk about the craziness that's...
Yeah, we got to bring Pam back on. She hasn't been watching Days, everybody. She's been savoring it. She's been savoring the flavor of Days. That's what she's been doing.
Yeah. She's going to binge, and it's going to be fabulous. But over in LA, there must be something in the water, because there is a high level of
WTF moment.
Pam, you in?
WTF moment. That's all I'm going to say about that. WTF moments on Bold and Beautiful.
What happened to Anthony?
Did Anthony cut out? Because you know why?
Oh, wait.
It was so many WTF.
Let me see.
Oh, there he is.
Am I here?
Anthony.
Hello.
Cleopatra was looking for you.
I was.
So we're in LA, and there's some craziness in the water. People, bring your own bottles of water if you're going to LA, because something's in that water.
You're all going to go crazy. Pretty much, you're going to go crazy. Because I can't. Go ahead, Anthony. I can't do it. I can't deal with the drama.
Well, this week, a letter surfaced from the late Carolyn, which basically fostered the idea that Thomas needs someone who can mother their son. Perfect. It would be a woman who lost a child of her own and would understand and be more mothering, and in whatever forgery / craziness this was devised in, seems to be working. And that's one big thing that's going on. We have...
I want to say to that, I mean, I can't with this storyline, but then again, as Laura said, if they didn't do things out of bounds, then it wouldn't captivate the viewers in one way or another, whether they hate it or love it.
Oh, absolutely. It is the car wreck that you cannot stop looking at.
You can.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing for him to go after her because he wants her, he loves her, and he wants her to be the mother of his child. But the way he's going about it, using his child and the death of her child, is just really getting to me.
It's getting to a lot of fans. I mean, there's a polar divide out there of people. Nobody's loving it, but people that, like some of us, are at the edge of their seats and want to see what's going to happen next, and some factions that are saying this is too much. This is disgusting. And I see both sides. Again, I can't stop watching. I do want to know where's it going next. But it is disgusting. It's ugly.
Right. It's kind of painful to watch because, and I'll just speak for myself, even though at first I was like, ooh, creepy Thomas, because I know the mental illness that Thomas has. See, a lot of Bold and Beautiful fans forget that Thomas did suffer from a mental disorder. You have that. But
and he did eat the berries.
What was that too? Well, you know what? Stop it. The thing is that they're making it seem like Thomas and Hope was the Ridge and Caroline or the Ridge and Brooke when it was just a thing. It literally was just a thing. And
it was a minute.
It was for a second. It was a
because I don't remember.
Okay, yes, he proposed. He proposed to Hope, but that's because Steffi and Bill wanted to get Hope away from Liam. Look up history, people. But anyway, the story is it started out okay, but now they're taking it too far. And you're right. You have Hope who, as of this week, she let Liam go because she's still hurting. And it's kind of like, as fans, we all know what today was. Jacqueline came back. Steffi came back. So it's like, okay, we're going to go through this again. The whole Liam Hope, now we got Thomas. I'm just waiting for it because I'm still calling it that Thomas is going to find out the truth about the baby and use it for his advantage. He's already used Douglas. Yeah, he's already used Douglas, and he used Caroline, which made me think, and I think I said it on the show. I said, I don't buy that Caroline had what was it that she died of? A blood clot? Was that it?
Yeah.
I think,
Yes.
I don't believe that. I'm not. The way that they're making Thomas is like a Lifetime movie starring Jacob Young. Hi, Jacob. It's like that's how they're making it, and I don't trust the Caroline's death. The fact that he actually copied the handwriting, I'm like, so nobody's gonna question this. Like, when was Caroline and Hope best friends forever? Like, I'm sorry, no. Like, to me, nope. It was good. I give them props for trying. But right now, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Call me when the reveal happens, Thomas finds out, and go from there. Otherwise, this is actually sickening, to be honest with you.
I want to say this as a fan and as, professional in this business. I'd like to caution Bold and the Beautiful. They're not 6 months in advance like Days. So, if you guys are listening, and we know you are, your rewriting of history, every soap does it. I'm not going to charge you on it. But as this spirals out and the reveals happen one by one, you need to hit the beats of history that were really important, a.k.a. Thomas's mental illness, a.k.a. eating the berries and the Brooke moment. And most importantly, when the baby stuff comes out, y'all need to go back to Phoebe and remind the audience, and there is no way that Steffi, Taylor, Thomas, and even Hope, by extension, wouldn't have a flashback feelings to Phoebe when all is said and done. I mean, they rewrote history and brought in a new Logan, God bless, who's now moved into the Forrester Mansion. God bless, because, there's only 7 places to stay in Los Angeles,
That's right.
So when you do hit us hard with all this, please pay homage to the history as well.
Mm-hmm. David?
It's a train wreck. Anthony's so eloquent. I have to echo whatever he said. Just pay close attention to history and don't give us too much at once.
Learn from the Spectre fiasco. It was entertaining to watch, but it was also disheartening in the end, that it didn't live up to what it could have been. When you're setting the same kind of storyline up in a completely different way, don't let us down this time, Bold. Don't let us down.
Yeah. Well, everybody's changing partners again, and now, oh my gosh, not Liam, his brother.
Wyatt.
Wyatt, thank you, was so madly in love with Sally, and now all of a sudden he's going back.
That we never knew about. He has officially drunk the water. Wyatt has now turned into Liam, Ridge, Thorne, Eric, and whoever else it was. Bill, thank you.
Yeah,
he was the one
I love Wyatt and Sally together, and I know there's got to be the breakup and the makeup and stuff like that, but to me, there's enough going on that you can keep them happy a while longer, or just let them have a fight about something but get back together, and while all these other relationships are all over the map.
It wouldn't be bold and beautiful.
In the natural course of real life, which of course it's soap opera, so it's not real life, with everything going on, you would have thought that Katie and Wyatt would have kind of re-hooked up and said, look at all this mess going around. Maybe we made a mistake. Not some old obsession that we done never heard about, just to conveniently, give screen time to Denise. And I gotta say, I love Flo, but I'm so on the fence with the story. I do love Flo as a character. Yeah, it's very much overkill. But in the interest of time, and there's a lot to say about our last soap, and it's Candice's baby, so I'm going to turn it over to her. Girl, drive the RV and pull us up into Genoa City.
So, guys, who's back in town? It's Adam. Yeah, baby. He's back, even though he didn't remember that it was Adam because, he had amnesia, that stuff.
Amnesia.
But thank God that didn't drag out. I thought that was going to go on a heck of a lot longer.
Let me explain this.
Girl, me and you. Who called it?
Thank you. Because sure enough, we know every time that Adam has come back or whatnot, it's either been plastic surgery or memory loss. That's the only way they can usher in this character. So you got Mr. Adam Newman, right? He has pictures. See, Sharon, Detective Sharon, right? Because, her ex-husband was a detective. And he's, I think he lives in Port Charles now. I don't know. But anyway, so,
and don't forget she took those classes.
Oh, that's right. Online classes, they'll work for you. Anyway, so, and she knows how to handle DNA. Anyway, so here's the thing. So she's snooping around and she saw pictures. First and foremost, she saw the pictures, and there's only one. I mean, he had pictures in the trash can of the other people, but he had a picture of Christian, his son, right? Oh, okay. So what's up with that, right? All right. So Sharon, brings Adam back. So now, everybody knows stuff for. Guess who got kept out the loop? Everybody and their mama knew that Adam was back, except for the one person who never seems to know what's going on in the Newman world, even though she is a Newman, but she doesn't know what's going on.
Abby.
Poor Abby.
It's like, what do you mean Adam's alive? And so, she came face to face. So now Adam, has, as you saw today, made some demands. He wants money, he wants his wife, and he wants his child. Now, you would think he wants something else, right? But that's what he wants. Is he going to get it?
Well, Chloe.
Well, can we now confirm it now? I think we can. We already have Kevin coming back. We got Chelsea coming back. Of course, it would make sense to have Chloe coming back, and Elizabeth Henderson is going to do both soaps. It was reported she's going to do both. So, Young and Russell, sign a contract, thank you. So, you got that because he got shot. Oh, yeah. See, this is how the memories came back, because he got shot. But we don't know who it was. So, if you're playing who shot Adam for the upteenth time, here is your suspect list. Here's your list. Chloe, Chelsea, the guy from Vegas, or Kevin. You be the judge. Yeah. We don't know who did it, though. We really don't know. So, other than the Adam stuff, there's this big thing happening, guys. Tracy.
Go ahead, girl. I'm waiting. Go ahead.
Tracy is writing a book. Y'all get ready. It is going to be the hottest thing coming fall 2019 on CBS.com. Okay.
The hottest thing since Spinelli.
Right. So Tracy's kind of always been the voice of reason, right? She's always been the heart and soul. Everybody comes to her for advice and everything. She's sort of like the Dear Abby, right? So there's this guy from Australia. He's kind of cute, he's been working out. And he has problems. He has some marital problems. He wants to get back with his wife, but, stuff like that. All right. So Tracy is helping Kane out, okay? And in the meantime, it's giving her ideas on her new book. So everything that's happening with Kane and Lily is going to be a part, like kind of the influence for her book. So, of course, when you're an author, you put yourself into the book, right? You put yourself in the story. You become the story. So, Kane and Tracy are spending time together. Kane has been the only person, let me say this, the only person to ask Tracy, well, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tracy's been dealing with a lot of stuff, and nobody has come and said anything to her, like, how are you feeling about your mother? How are you feeling about Jack and Ashley? How are you feeling about Kyle and Summer? So, Kane, being the gentleman that he is, he starts talking because they have that connection. Well, guess what? Homegirl's been daydreaming.
Mm-hmm.
She daydreamed Kane shirtless, check. And if you saw it, she daydreamed that they kissed. Let me repeat that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that.
She daydreamed that they kissed, which has caused an uproar on social media.
Okay. I have to step in here real quick, Candice, because just a quick little Young and the Restless history lesson. Okay?
Yep.
Tracy once had a hot, burning relationship with someone named Brad, who in a later incarnation became Wild Bill Spencer. And when he was Brad, he was the hottest pin-up soap opera star of the moment. He was on every cover, and he didn't have a shirt anywhere in any closet, on set, at home, in guest houses. Okay. Tracy had every issue that you can possibly imagine as far as being overweight, as far as having to take second fiddle to Lauren, as far as I don't deserve a man like this. There is a huge Young and the Restless history that needs to be paid homage to. All of these people on social media, go on YouTube and go back to Tracy and Lauren, Tracy and Brad. Just Tracy, because she's phenomenal. Tracy and Ashley, exactly. And even Tracy and Jack, because he always undermined and second-guessed her emotions and her feelings. So this storyline is not coming out of left field. It is not something wacky that they're throwing in. This is so in point with the Tracy that we grew up with. Go ahead, girl.
And here's the thing, and I've been very, I think if anybody follows me, I've been very vocal about it, is that to me, what's wrong with a woman fantasizing about a guy like Kane? This genre is such a woman's genre. I mean, I know men love watching soaps too, so don't get it twisted. But to me, I just felt as watching this story, I'm like, okay, Tracy is mature. She deserves to be respected and treated as a woman. Why? What's wrong with it? And I saw everybody and tell me different things, and I'm just like, okay, they're not hopping in the bed together. They're not even boyfriend and girlfriend. Right now, it's just a mutual thing. Like, she's fantasizing about it. Beth Maitland tweeted about it. I have to read this real quick because everybody's been talking about it. When I say everybody, I mean Young and the Restless fans have come to go for it, to like, ew, no, don't do it. So this is what she said. She said, hey guys, I've been tweeting what this story means to me, possibly for Tracy and Kane and for everyone. We all deserve to be cared for, and that can come from surprising places.
Mm-hmm.
True. And the thing is that, look, if this was, and trust me, I went down the list. I said, if you're a fan of Donna and Matt on Another World, Dorian and David, Dorian and Joey, Ava, Jerome and Morgan, Ava, Jerome and Griffin, you know, and all these other Vanessa and Matt, then you shouldn't have a problem with this. But
the only difference is Tracy has a little more cushion for the pushing than the rest of those women. And I just have to say, in the Me Too movement, for women to be so disrespectful about the possibility that a woman would fantasize about a man that's quote-unquote out of her league, for what? Out of her league? Because she single-handedly holds that family together and is a rock for just about everybody in that town when they need it.
Anthony, one of the things that people have said is because Tracy's connection to Lily. And here's what I have to say about that. I have to say this. Yes, I know, and everybody else knows, that Tracy is the godmother to the twins and that she was Colleen's mother and Colleen and Lily was friends. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, if you're a fan of Bold and Beautiful, you shouldn't be talking. If you watch General Hospital, you shouldn't be talking, because there's been people who's been former mother-in-laws, aunt-in-laws, sister-in-laws,
Dorian and Joey.
You know, stuff like that. Right.
Dorian and Joey, they were the best of frenemies, Vicky and Dorian, and here she is stuck in the sun, the hot sun.
I mean, I know people don't want to talk about this, but Erica, Kane, and Ryan on All My Children were together, and so was Ryan and Kendall and Greenlee. So I'm just gonna let that one go. But what I'm saying is that for me personally, right? Yes. I mean, we can go on and on, but the thing is to me is that Young and Restless is just telling a story about a woman who hasn't been treated like a woman in a very long time. And for her to fantasize about somebody like Kane being interested in her, I'm fine with that. If Young and the Restless goes that route, then that would be interesting. And I get it, Lily and Kane fans, I get it, because I like Lily and Kane too, but I call them out a lot of times. It's something new, and we haven't seen something like this since, I mean, currently on General Hospital you have Epiphany and Milo, but you also had Ashley and Coop. You also had Marcy and Al on One Life to Live. So to me, it's kind of refreshing to see a little bit of the, not saying abnormal or anything, but just this is what's happening.
Let me jump in here. Let me jump in here. I want to tell a real, true story from my life. My mother and father were married for 16 years. Was not a good marriage. They finally divorced, thank the Lord. My mother finally found somebody else, so he actually found her. They used to go to the same bar together. It was a family bar. We all knew everybody there. And he pursued her for 2 years, and she kept saying no. Why? Because there was a 15-year age difference, and he was the younger one. But let me tell you, she finally said yes. They not only dated, but ended up getting married. He looked older because he had the receding hairline. He was very mature. He acted older. I mean, I'm going to tell you, he was not that much of a big age difference from myself, okay? But I looked at this man as a stepfather because that's how he treated me. That's how he was with my mother as far as being a mature husband that treated my mother like a queen who deserved it after all the years of hell that she went through with my father. And God bless my father and my mother that are both deceased, but he gave her 15 years of joy and happiness and love.
God bless.
That she deserved before she passed away at the age of 52. So I, for one, do not have a problem with an older woman and a younger man. And that's all I got to say about that.
I have a serious problem, and my problem is this. Young and the Restless fans, all soap fans, including myself, we're fickle. We love when someone comes back from the dead when we want them back. But we can't stand another comeback from the dead story when it's someone that we just don't want to see no more. All of us, we're all guilty of being fickle. But the Me Too movement is not only about speaking your truth about things that have happened to you. It's also about respecting the stories of every woman out there. And we cannot be fickle. I'm a gay man. I'm not counting myself as a woman. But we cannot be fickle as a society and say it's okay to be okay with this part of a woman possessing her rights, possessing her femininity, possessing her power, and all the words that can go in there, and then hate on her when she does it in a way that makes us uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, God bless. You have every right to be. But don't hate on the story. Don't hate on the actor. Don't hate on the show for telling a story that happens every day in every town. Every single one of us on this show and listening to this show knows someone who's been in that spot. Don't hate on it.
That's true.
Please.
And the thing is that we don't, and I said this too, I get it, I do, but right now this is some more of a Tracy story of her feeling wanted by somebody or needed by somebody else. Because, like I said, if you've been watching Young and the Restless for the last couple of years and you've seen Tracy at funerals or when the family falls apart, nobody dares to ask Tracy, how do you feel?
How are you
doing? Feeling? And when Kane said that, in a moment, I was like, oh, somebody really actually asked Tracy, and I loved her. She was like, well, nobody's really said anything to me about that before. And I'm just like, okay, that would, as a woman who hasn't, quote unquote, had attention or whatnot, like outside of family stuff, yeah, that would be like, oh, he had an interest in talking to me. This isn't like they're hooking up. You know, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a story about Tracy feeling wanted again. And if people have, and I had to think about something too. I thought about the ultimate person that had it all. The young man, the old man, and she owned her sexuality. And that was the OG Sally Spectra.
And Sally was what they used to call a handsome woman because she wasn't classically pretty, but she owned everything about herself, and you couldn't not look at her. Absolutely.
Right. So I think fans need to just let's see where they take this story at, okay? If they hop into bed together, hey, at least she got her back broken. Hey, okay. But
and
right
fans,
now, it's a friendship.
Please remember something that only happens. This is one instance where a flashback would do really well because y'all all know how I feel about the flashbacks. Days of Our Lives, Days of Our Lives. Lily came to her Jesus and said, we don't work. We do not belong together. We cannot continue this cycle. Maybe they will end up together again. It's a soap opera. They probably will. But right now, they both know they don't work. So
they need to work on themselves right now. Kane especially needs to work on himself.
And Tracy is good for Kane. Really good for Kane.
To help rebuild. I mean, she's a romantic and she's an author. So that right there is like, okay, help create the situation. Like, that's why I love the fact that when she writes and stuff, we're seeing that instead of them just telling us. We're actually in her mind as she's doing this. And
let me mention this too. I've seen over the years for so many times, I know myself, I've said it, give Tracy a storyline, put her on contract. Well, guess what? Tracy's got a storyline, so you got what you asked for, so let it be.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
One thing they need to add to this little mix, there is a baby that needs some female attention. He must be locked up in Grandma Audrey's attic in Port Charles, but there is a baby that would
baby Sam.
that could really benefit from this relationship as well. Friendship, because it's not a relationship yet. Let me read.
Right, it's a friendship. Yeah, it's a friendship. It's a mutual friendship between two people helping each other. Kane is he doesn't know that he's helping Tracy in that situation, which I think is actually going to be. I mean, I can see where if they go that route, I can see where it's going to head at. But at the same time, this is where Young and Restless, you better start casting Michael E. Knight back to the show ASAP, because I already called it that he could be the one for Tracy, since we got Eva LaRue as Mama on Young and Restless with Peter Bergman. I don't know why I said it like that. I have no idea why I said it like that. But yeah, I mean. So you got the Tracy and Kane stuff, and then you got Kyle, Summer, and Lola.
And as messy as Kyle, Summer, and Lola is, it's another car wreck that is just so interesting to watch.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna try to be good. I'm gonna be good. Be good, Candice. I'm okay with the storyline now but at the same time, it kind of fizzled. I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel as though, all right, I need to see Summer really plotting. Like, I need it to happen now. Because it's like, all right, she's focusing on being businesswoman, which is fine. Girl, make sure you focus on something else, because you don't want to be like some other people who just completely focus on revenge. You can still do your revenge and whatnot, but just stay focused on trying to be the best Summer you can be. Go ahead, girl. With
real quick.
Yeah.
Someone's coming back. The one thing I always had the problem with Gina Tognoni's Phyllis was that it was never really truly believable that they were mother and daughter. Well, someone's coming back. And I think that is going to flip the script entirely.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. We got to remember, Michelle and Hunter never worked together. Which some fans were like, wait a minute, hold up, what? And I was like, no, they've never worked together. So that dynamic, you're right. If you watch, come June, come next month, when she takes over the role of Phyllis, there is going to be a different dynamic. But for right now, with Summer and Lola, like with Kyle, I just feel as though, okay, like, dude, you're technically still married to Summer. Like, can you, like, don't do like Bold and Beautiful. Like, kind of just take your time. Now y'all talking about moving in together. Like, okay, like, you're, like, kind of going a little too fast. Like, Young and Restless, Josh, slow it down, because we want a great build-up to the biggest fallout, because Kyle's going to have egg all over his face, especially when Theo comes to town.
Okay, we're going to have to leave. We're going to have to leave it there, because we're down to the last 2 minutes. And the last thing I want to say, and we'll leave it until next time, is that I heard that Sharon's going to get pregnant. So, with that said, a big shout out to Laura Wright for joining us tonight. We truly are so happy and so excited and so grateful and thankful and blessed and everything that you joined us. And we welcome you back anytime. And thanks, guys, for joining me tonight.
Guys, please leave us. We always ask you to leave feedback to the shows, but this time we're going to be selfish and ask you to leave some feedback to us. If you enjoyed tonight's show, tweet it, Facebook it, share it to your friends, and scream it from the mountains, because we've got a lot of good stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks for you guys, and we love doing this show for you guys. So give us some love back, please.
1 minute.
Thank you. And we will see you soon, because as Anthony says, we have some good stuff coming up. So be sure to watch our social media, and you will find out what that is, because we're not telling you now.
Sharon's pregnant.
Stay tuned. That is our cliffhanger, guys. And believe me, it's a hanger you want to hang on to. Right, David?
Pregnant.
Right.
Good night, everyone.
All righty. Good night, everybody. Take care, and God bless. Till next time.
Thanks.
Take care of each other.
Good night. Have a great weekend.
You too. Oh, happy, safe holiday weekend, everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.